Welcome everyone to VLAMP, Video Lighting, Audio, Music, and Photography How-To Show. I am, of course, your host, Matt Haslam, and I know I haven't been on for a while here, and I do apologize for that. So, this is going to be editing our new, show reel for the new year here, new fiscal year coming up here. There is nothing done, as you can see in our editor right now, and there won't be anything done for a second here, so I do apologize. We did not collect any footage yet for it. It's all just going to be on the air from very beginning to the very end. So, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look for some music, and that would be under my music bin, obviously. And we're going to go down here to video background music because that's where I get all of my copyright-free music from. This is kind of like how I store all of my music that I can just drag and drop into any project. It doesn't matter. It's there's no vocals on any of this music here, just because it's all background music. And what I basically did to get this music was I either went into the YouTube Creator Studio, and I'll show you that here. You just go down here to Create, and you go down to Audio Library, and you look through all of those, and you can find pretty much any piece of music you want. Or you go to just search on YouTube for royalty-free music, or you can purchase things online, different outlets and stuff. There are plenty of ways to get plenty of great music, but I just compile it all into these separate bins of what am I looking for this project. And this is a great way to organize all of your just regular stock music for all of your video projects, because let's say, for instance, I'm doing a documentary and I have a part where I want something childlike. I can go into that bin. If I want some 60s, I can go into that bin. There aren't too many pieces of music in each one of these, but over time these get built up. And I'm trying to think of one that has a lot. Maybe this one has 5 in it right now. But over time these do get built up, and the more and more you download, the more obviously you can drag and drop into these different bins. That way you know exactly what you're looking for at exactly the right time. I'm going to stop that. That's probably taking up a lot of my bandwidth. So, how are we looking? We're getting a whopping 23 frames per second. That's actually kind of good. So, anyway, I go into here and I figure out exactly what kind of music I want. And let's say for this demo and show reel, I'm basically looking for something very upbeat and pretty fast. So I wouldn't go into rock. I'm going to listen to it a little bit. I hope you guys can hear that in the background because I don't have it hooked up correctly. And like I said, I didn't do anything on this yet. So this is for our main website, matthasmproductions.com. We want something that is very upbeat, but at the same time not we don't want where was it? Like that, where it's way too rock central. I want something smooth but yet upbeat. I'm also going to go in here and try to figure out the time of it. Forgive me, I am checking the stream right now. Alrighty. So, I'm going to go into, let's say, a different one, different, like, let's say it's electronic. See, I don't want something like that where it's like, I'm going to turn the mic so you can actually hear it. See, like that is just bad for a demo reel. And you might be asking yourself, why are we doing one? We already have one on our website. You have to do these like every 6 to 12 months, and we haven't done one in a year, just because we've been so busy. And sorry for that, but it's really good news that we're busy and that we're just swamped. Even like really big like video companies have to do it every single year. It's just a thing. Just something you always have to keep on top of. Like this one, we have a lot of music in this bin. Oh, by the way, this is the that's the soundtrack we use for the actual VLAMP show. But and the reason why I'm picking out music first is because I like to edit to that music. I like to pick pieces of footage based on. Oh, and I used that one for the last one, so last demo show reel, so I can't do that again. Excuse me. I'm just putting these in the right bin because they weren't in there. I was looking for 2 pieces of music that I downloaded just for this purpose, and they are not in there. So these are like disco pieces of music. And I do not have a disco bin. See, I just break these down so much that there's really, let's see. Yeah. I just break them down so much that there's not a lot of music in each bin, just because I typically like my music very much organized into like, oh, there's 2 disco things. And some might argue like 80s or 60s is disco or whatever. Disco is its own genre to me. Medium rock. Let's try that. I thought I downloaded something else though. So I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll actually go into the library here and we'll pick out something. I actually really like that. So pretty happy with those two. I have to be honest. I'm really happy so far. Okay, so let's keep with those three just for a second here. I'll get back to the live stream so I can actually like see what I'm streaming, because that's always good. And we will import that stuff into our music bin. That way it's in there for good. I always do that with all my music, just so it's all here for future projects. just in case, because you never know. There are so many times when like I just use a piece of music over and over again because I love it so much, but it's for different clients. So that is like a Western feel. So no. Hmm. Okay, so I want that. Where did I just import that? Fond memories. There we go. So here's our music for the whole overall thing. I'm going to start a new sequence here in 1920 by 1080. And I'm going to call it, because here's the thing. I'm going to create 2 demo and show reels here in this little series that we're going to have, because actually I'm only going to be able to be on the stream for like 25 more minutes. But I'm creating 2 for this reason alone. One for my company because I want to show the best of the company, and I want to show like here's what our company is capable of doing. But one also for me as a cinematographer, because basically, you know, there is that separation for me as a cinematographer of people that may want to hire me as a camera person, but don't necessarily need the full company behind me. I'll give you a very good example of this. I work as a cameraman for a local TV station, and there's a lot of great footage in that work that I do that I'm not able to use in my company show reel because it's not through the company that they're hiring me. They're hiring me as a person, and in the future, I'm looking at more and more companies like that might want to hire me as just a cameraman for a couple days or something, but it's not necessarily going to be something through the company. And so I don't want to showcase stuff that's through the company to get that work. And so I need 2 separate show reels, one for me and one for the company. And so I'm going to create one here called Matt Haslam Show Reel 2018. I also want to import the other one, which was in the all right, so I like clean break for my personal one. And then I'm going to create a new sequence for MHP show reel 2018. And that is going to be the Fond Memories track. and I'm creating them with 2 separate tracks here just because that's the way I like them to be. That way people don't get them confused. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. Basically, now that we have the music choices, which are our fond memories and our clean break, I'm going to get rid of campfire song. And what I'm going to do here, I'm going to create a couple different bins so I don't get things mismatched accidentally. So I'm going to create a file called MHP footage, and then another bin for Matt Haslam footage. And that way, basically, the footage that I capture outside of my company doesn't get mix matched with the MHP stuff. And footage here does not mean raw footage from the cameras. Yes, I have all of that data. Yes, I keep all footage from all cameras on all projects for MHP. And a lot of footage for stuff I do outside of MHP. I keep all footage from my camera. That's just how I do things. However, I'm not going to go back to that for this purpose. The reason why I keep all that footage is for the purposes of re-edits and stuff, just in case someone wants, let's say, a year or two later, a client will come asking me, can you edit that with a more closer up shot right here of my child or whatever it happens to be. I'm able to go back to that raw footage and edit as if it was just yesterday. So that's why I keep all the raw footage. What I mean by footage here is our finished projects. So I'm going to go back to my RAID system, my finished video files, go to videos, and for this, I'm going to look at my Matt Haslam Productions folder. I'm going to take this off screen because I don't want the general audience to see all of the projects, but I'm going to take in a lot of this raw data here. So and it's going to take a second because it's going to be a pain in the butt on how it's all going to work. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to import a bunch of stuff. And this is going to be, Oh, well, that's why it's weird. Okay. And I'm going to go back to stuff that I kind of know there's a lot of cinematic footage on because I like cinematic footage for these kind of purposes. I'm not going to go back to the just general footage of everything and anything that I've done. I'm going to go back to certain projects that I know for a fact are going to get me good results in this show reel. And let's see. Did a lot of political work lately, so I want to highlight that in here. And that's what I'm kind of looking through now. Let's see. And as I go through here, sometimes I'm going to come across just a spot where I need something extra. I need something that I know I shot whatever this week or whatever happens to be. And let's see. And once I get all of these imported into here, then we can actually start editing, and that's the exciting part about all of this. So far we have all of these projects in the MHP folder, and now we're going to go to personal footage that I've captured for other companies or stuff like that. Let's see. All right. So now that we have all of that footage at least in here, we're going to start going through it one by one, picking out shots. It doesn't matter kind of where all of our footage goes at this moment in this. And this is obviously some work I did for another TV station, not through MHP. I just want to clarify that because it does get a little confusing sometimes for some people, apparently. So I'm going to let this, because right now it's conforming the audio for this track, and that way it can actually conform that, and we can listen to it at the same time, so I know exactly what's going on. I like that track, though. So right now it's just conforming that, and I'm going to let that go for a second. But as we're going through here, obviously I'm only able to be on the stream for like 15 more minutes, so it's not going to be done today. This is a multi-part series. that we're going to be going through and creating these show reels. The MHP track here is 3 minutes and 19 seconds. Obviously, demo and show reels should not be over 3 minutes in length. They should be 2 to 2.5 at maximum. So we're going to be cutting out parts of this track here. The regular show reel for myself is 2.5, so it's a really good length overall. I'm going to probably end up keeping it at that length. But as we're going through here, I genuinely don't know exactly how often these live streams are going to be. I just know this is what we're going to be working on as we're streaming. So this might be a 10-part series. It might be a 2 or 3-part series. I don't know. I also don't know the schedule of it because, like, in 15 minutes I had to get ready to go on a date. So, like, everything is up in the air this month because it's so crazy. And like I really do apologize to you guys out in the audience for this show because we haven't been making shows. Like behind the scenes, I know when we went off the air, we said like, hey, we're gonna like try to make 1 or 2 things while we're off the air here, but we didn't. It's just been absolutely nuts. And it's just been crazy trying to get all of the editing done for this June. Because if you're not aware, June here, there are a million things that are happening. For instance, it's less than a week away, and our releases are coming out. So June 12th, we have a brand new lyric video and a brand new track coming out, which is for sale, and all of the proceeds from that are benefiting an amazing charity that I can't talk about yet, unfortunately, until next week. Then 1 week from that, we have another brand new song that's coming out with its own track and its own music video, and that's coming out on June 19th. And again, all the proceeds from that are benefiting an amazing charity. And then the following week, the craziest things happening behind the scenes here. And I'll be showing you some of behind the scenes on this channel of what went into all of making that film. But I have a brand new film coming out on June 26th. And that film is the biggest and most expensive production I've ever self-produced. So it's exciting. But that was a massive amount of editing. That was just basically that was the first time when I really knew for about a year the overall script of it. And September I started like actually starting to compile the footage for it and also start editing it, which was absolutely nuts. I mean, normally when you edit something, you compile all the footage first and then you start editing. But this was a situation where I needed to start editing back in September, otherwise it wouldn't be done. And it changed a couple times during production, and we had to change the editing because of that. But I think it was well worth it. It just, there was so much editing to do on it that it was like, oh, this needs to start now if we're going to make the deadline. And what you don't know about that film is I had friends who helped, like, research a little bit, and I had a friend help be a cameraman for one shoot, but that was it. It was all entirely me for the first time in a very, very long time. Because normally to film myself, I will have someone film me. And that was the first time where I was like, no, I kind of have to film it by myself because I don't want people to know what the topic is of the film yet. So literally no one knows what the topic of this film is. No one knows anything about the film at all. And it's really, really exciting to just finally have this film out there. Plus, on the same day, for some weird reason, because it is so, like, June 26th is a national holiday here in the United States. And because of that, I decided, you know, let's not just put out a film on that day. Let's put out an album. Because why not, right? And originally that album back in September was only supposed to have 6 songs on it, and then it jumped to 8 songs now. And so it has 8 tracks. It's all done. Everything's submitted to the publisher, and everything's ready to go and publish on certain times. It's all scheduled on YouTube. It's all scheduled on our. So if you go to YouTube and search like Matt Haslam Vivo channel, it's actually called Project Alex Vivo channel now. So like the Matt Haslam Vivo channel is kind of dead, and it's now Project Alex. So just search for Project Alex Vivo, and everything's going to be posted to there. It's also going to be posted to our Facebook page over at facebook.com, and you just search for Project Alex. It's there as well. That's my new artist page, and that's where everything's going to be posted for this, as well as if you just go to my personal Facebook, I'll be sharing it on those days as well over at facebook.com/Matt Haslam fans. And it's just, it took an incredible amount of time to get everything done on all of these releases. I mean, just the sheer number of months that went into this film, that went into the album. And I'll be the first to admit, like the locations for this thing were so personal to me to go back to, that it took like hours to get 1 or 2 shots at these locations. Not because they were difficult, not because it was a huge setup. It was like most places, it was just a camera and like maybe a bounce card or something, you know, just to get a little bit more light on my face. But it was just so difficult to be there and to relive the memories that I've experienced at these places. And because the film is a very personal journey through my life, and just to be back at these places and be able to just go through that memory again was just difficult. And that's kind of why I decided I needed to do this journey by myself. And I'm really looking forward to having everyone see it on June 26th, and everyone see exactly all the work that went into just everything this past year. Just a lot of work to be put out in one single month within 3 weeks of each other. And so I do apologize for not being on the air with VLAMP at all for the past couple months, because it's just been nonstop editing. Every moment I had off from client work, I was editing that project. Luckily, it's all done now, and everything's set to be released at certain times. I'm very lucky for the fact that I'm done, and it's just all good now. I watched the film. I had a private screening with my family and friends, and they all love the film, and they all love the album. So I'm so like ready for it to be out there and ready to talk about. Like I can say some things. I can say like, oh, these like this is what it was like on location, but I'm not allowed to say just quite yet what those locations were, or what it was like actually being on set and filming them. Too much. I can't say too much yet because it's so secretive, and I don't want to come to a situation where I'm like last minute and I just give away all the secrets right before it goes out. So like it's been a year, and I've been like, I so want to talk about what's going on, and it's just I don't want to spoil all the endings for you guys right at the very and near so close to the end, you know. And it's just exciting because I know what it looks like, and my family knows what it looks like now. Yeah, my family didn't know at all about it. My family had no idea what it was about, and then like I came out with the film, and they're like, "Oh wow, this is actually really good," and like they were tearing up, and I'm so happy. So it's a really moving story, and it's a really moving film overall. All 3 are moving stories and moving films, so I'm hoping you guys enjoy them. I'll probably be talking about them once I get back kind of in July. I'll probably be like putting out an episode on VLAMP of like probably July of like how it was done, because we have a ton of behind the scenes footage and stuff of that, of like this is what it was like on set, and there's a ton that we can't show right now because um, even if we show like parts of it, what's difficult is that I had costumes on the entire time for this film, and so if the camera like shows me at all on it, like if behind the scenes camera shows me at all, it gives away what my costume is, and my costume gives away what the film's about. And so uh, I don't even want that much revealed at this point. And so it's sort of one of those things of I can't wait to show the behind the scenes. We have a ton of behind the scenes stuff that I kind of want to just like pull out of the footage bay right now and be like, here's what it looks like, here's the behind the scenes. But I'm not allowed to do that yet. And wait a couple weeks and you'll be seeing that. But in the meantime, we'll be on streams and stuff like that, a little bit here sporadically to edit this project in full and get 2 show reels done, one for the company and one for myself. But that, with 3 minutes left, I'm going to leave it there rather than rambling on for 3 more minutes. And I'm going to save it right there. That is where we're going to pick up next time we're on the stream. And you guys get to see exactly how these demo show reels are made. And hopefully it'll help you make your own show reel to help your company along and show the best of the best in your future advertising endeavors. So I will leave it like that. And like I said, I have a date, so I'm out of here, and I'm taking the night off from the company. And by the way, that's something you should definitely do every once in a while. Is just take a night off and go out and enjoy yourself, and then you'll have a fresh mindset in the morning, and it'd be fun. Tomorrow we're filming a graduation, so it's graduation season here at MHP, and in my life, because it's June and there's a lot of graduations going on. And like, I also have some behind the scenes footage of other stuff that I'll be showing actually in the demo show reel. And I know I said I wouldn't ramble on for 3 more minutes, but I'm going to. We have some behind the scenes footage of. I'll actually show you this part, because this I can actually show to people. Where's it at? Right there, and right there, and right there. So this we can show you. I was in Philadelphia this past weekend filming a commercial for a Spanish-speaking organization there that's a statewide government agency. But I was there for the weekend and stayed overnight, and so we have a bunch of behind-the-scenes stuff like this that we'll probably be showing here in the next couple weeks. And so that was last weekend, literally a big weekend for us. And then this weekend, I'm in Washington all weekend, filming something else and doing something else that I'm not allowed to talk about yet. Again, like, so much of this stuff I'm secretive about until it actually comes out. So like last weekend's Philly. This weekend I'm in Washington D.C. for another event, and then it's just going to be a crazy, crazy month here, and I cannot wait for it all to happen and to talk about it once it's all done. So with that, I will leave you guys with this footage, because that's a simple interview setup, by the way. And it was an interview about autism. So it's a very worthy cause. I'm very, very glad to help them out with it. But really awesome client working with kids. I love it. So with all that said, this stuff might end up going into the reel a little bit of like, here's the behind the scenes of how it happens. And I'm going to take with this demo and show reel, I'm going to kind of take a little bit different approach to it with how I edit, because normally you only show like the cinematic stuff your cameras all capture, and like I'm going to be showing a tiny bit of this stuff of showing how we captured and the professionalism behind the cameras as well. So with all that said, I will leave you guys. Have a good night and enjoy yourselves and be all happy. Keep those cameras rolling, keep on clicking. That's what another show says. I'm borrowing their lines. I'm sorry. But like I said, hit that red subscribe button if you like this kind of content and if you would like to see future content like this coming out to you guys over the next couple weeks. And stay tuned. Bye for now.